very much.
Now this is a square tool. I have an edge goes in that direction and a cutting edge in that direction. So it's like a point tool with a list to pull like that. So I can use the front edge for planing and turning and shaping. I can use the side edge for surfacing, and I can use the point for countersink. That's a small flat drill I made myself. This is a sort of drill called a D-bit, which opens out already drilled holes, more or less like a reamer. And this is an ordinary plug tab to cut the thread. On my foot-controlled variable speed lathe, the lathe runs like a spinning jenny, and there's a long belt there, and I just haul it backwards. I know they make electronic ones where you can press another button and reverse, but I don't feel happy with that. Anyway, I've surfaced the front of that piece of ivory and tapped a quarter 26 thread in it. And I have a little thread on the end of that piece of brass which screws into that piece of ivory, and I can centre it in the self-centering chuck again. And then turn it. Now, I'm using a round nose scraper that comes down to about 1/8 of an inch. The section of steel, high-speed steel, is triangular, which gives you the utmost manoeuvrability on the tool rest. And I like to move this tool just exactly where I like it. In fact, I can treat it like a gouge and make the bevel rub on soft wood and all sorts of things with this. Well, I don't call it a scraper, I call people scrapers. I don't let tools scrape. Now, these are we all used to make these out of old files. And files don't snap in cutting unless you're using them on wacky great bits of wood that are flying round and plunging it into something that's dangerous. It's always used carefully and lightly. However, knowing the predilection some people have of suing other people, we don't recommend files for the reason that if someone puts their eye up with a file deliberately and sues, they might sue anybody for £1 million. So what I did, I went to Crown Tools in England and asked them if they could make me some triangular sections of high-speed steel. and they provided me with a dozen sections and tried them out, but they said it was so costly because they couldn't forge them in that shape. They had to grind them, and it would have been far too costly to make them a commercial proposition. So I finished up with a dozen of these blanks, which will last me a couple of lifetimes, but nobody else can get them. However, if you buy a 1/4-inch beading and parting tool of high-speed steel, and you use a corner radius to rub on the T-rest, you can then grind the other corner on a flat, and then make that into a 1/8 round nose tool. I mention this quite a lot in my articles, and what I'm doing at the moment is writing a series of articles called The Complete Turner, and it's in the magazine in England called The Wood Turner, and it comes out 6 times a year. But it more or less covers the same material that I covered in Wood Turning magazine, but in my own inimitable way, I make it different. In other words, I go along the same road, but you never go along the same road and see the same things twice. The sun's different, the rain's different, the landmarks are different, and my writing is different, and my jokes are different, and my stories are different, and my tips and wheezes are always changing, because although I've reached an age where I've stopped counting, I'm still learning something new, and some of the things are so fundamental and simple, I amaze myself at the simple solution to some of the things that have bugged me all my life, and I always pass them on. But the funny thing is, whenever I find something new, and I tell somebody like Alan Batty, he says, "Oh, we did that years ago." I don't believe a word of it.